Hello, everyone, and welcome to the beginning of fantasy football for this season. Now, before I get into talking about my team, I would like to let you all know that Tuesdays will be the day for you to expect my fantasy football recaps from the week. And also, it would be how I do that is will be very similar to how I conducted my fantasy basketball last year. So I will just have a little breakdown of how my players did in the week, how my team fared out for that week. Now, going a little bit into the league, talking about the league. This is a 10-team league, and the points in this league are, I'm expecting, going to be a little bit higher than normal because some of the point categories are like a little bit different than Yahoo's standard. Plus, we have two defenses and also three individual defensive players. So scores are going to be higher than the average Yahoo Fantasy Football League. Now, with that being said, I actually just drafted this team last night. I did have all intentions on recording the draft, but my computer was being a butthole as usual, and actually I had to wind up drafting my team from my phone. I couldn't even use my computer. But anyway, in this 10-team league, I, of course, had the daunting task of having the 10th pick in the first round. So, with having the last pick in the first round, it does require a little bit of a different draft strategy than I am normally used to, because I'm not used to drafting last. But, because you have the 2 picks in a row, and then pretty much everyone gets to draft 2 times again before you draft again. So you have to really be able to look ahead in the draft and see what you need. So with that being said, in the first round of the draft, I decided to take Marshawn Lynch, beast mode, to make sure I had a good running back before all of the half-decent running backs were already taken. And then I followed my Marshawn Lynch pick by picking Peyton Manning with the first pick in the second round. I then did not have another pick until the third round, the end of the third round. And that is when I took Victor Cruz, so that my receivers are not good. They're not terrible, but they're not amazing. I have 3 mediocre at best receivers, I feel like, for this year. But I'm not too worried about receivers because, as some of you may know, my receiving core was absolute garbage last year, and I wound up making it to the championship in my league anyway. So that's really nothing to worry about, because I do have Peyton at quarterback, and my running backs, Marshawn Lynch and Zach Stacy, are also very good, and this is it's a running back happy league. We get a point for every carry a running back gets, so hopefully that will help, because I got some workhorses in it. workhorse running backs that usually run the ball a decent amount of times. I also, with the adding on to my receiving core, I have along with Victor Cruz, I have Deshaun Jackson and Torrey Smith as my starters right now, and as my backup, I had Torrey Smith last year. He's like, he's so hit or miss, especially with Flacco. Because obviously when Flacco struggles, his receivers are going to struggle too. So I just picked him up to have another receiver, pretty much. And as backups, I have Terrence Williams, who I did have also had on my team for some of last year, and he had a couple good games. He could potentially have a breakout season this year with the Cowboys, but that all depends how Tony Romo wants to play. And I also have Riley Cooper from the Eagles as another receiver. They're basically just going to be kind of fill-in receivers for bye weeks and stuff like that, injuries. But Riley Cooper is definitely a one of Nick Foles' favorite targets, especially if Macklin's going to be hurt. So Cooper could have a good year this year, and he's normally a pretty solid red zone target, so he gets touchdowns usually. So we have that. As far as my backup running backs go, I do have Frank Gore, who is he's kind of injury prone. San Francisco has like 700 running backs on their team, so never know what type of year he's gonna have. And I also have Fred Jackson, who is in that backfield with C.J. Spiller, and last year anyway, Fred Jackson got the majority of the red zone touches, so he might be getting touchdowns. But similar to my receivers, I really only have those two running backs on my team for the bye week, and just in case any injuries occur. Speaking of a bye week, week 4 is going to be a bad week for me because pretty much half of my starters bye. Their bye is week 4, but like Peyton's bye is week 4. My two running backs have a bye in week 4. So that's going to be a big chunk of my offense right there. But I do have a pretty good backup quarterback in Jay Cutler, who I do believe is going to have one of his best seasons this year because he has like 7 million receiving threats. So I do expect Jay Cutler to have a kind of breakout year this year. I did not draft a kicker because I missed one of my picks and I accidentally drafted 2 tight ends in a row, which I would never do. I would never draft 2 tight ends. So I am currently have to wait on waivers to pick up my kicker. I am attempting to get Sean Sweejum, I think. Yeah. From the Steelers, because the Steelers were kicking a lot of field goals last year. And for my defenses, I have Kansas City, which was one of the top defenses to have last year. They put up a massive amount of points because they get those interceptions, and when they get them, they're usually running the back for touchdowns. And they don't give up a lot of points. And same thing with the Steelers. They do not give up a lot of points. They might not get the turnovers that they used to, but they still are a top defense in the league and don't give up a lot of points. For my individual defensive players, I decided to pick up 3 linebackers because really what we're getting points for are tackles, basically. and linebackers normally get the most amount of tackles. So I got Jared Mayo from the Patriots, Carlos Dansby from the Browns, and Brandon Spikes from the Bills. And also, DeMarcus Ware was my last pick of the draft. He was still there, and I was like, he's there, so I might as well take him. He's could have a good year in Denver. He might get a decent amount of sacks this season. So I decided to pick him up. But he's basically just going to be my bye week filler. So whenever my other three guys have a bye, that's when he's going to be in. But anyway, this is the team I have drafted. Hopefully I can have another good season. The projection that they have given me for this year is to finish in 4th, which I obviously would not be happy with, because I'm not happy with winning anything but winning my fantasy leagues anymore, because that's what I'm so used to. And the last time I didn't come in at least 2nd place in my fantasy football league was 2009. So I'm pretty sure I will finish better than 4th. That is not cockiness. That is confidence. Because I am confident that this team that I drafted is a solid team. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about the team and the season that I may have in the comments. If you would like, you can look at my fantasy football videos from last year on the semifinals and finals, and also check out how my fantasy basketball team did last year, since that's basically how I'm going to be doing this fantasy football this year. To you can have a little heads up on how this works. And until next time, good luck, have fun, and be safe.